What's up, Lumiose trainers? Lumiose Trainer Zach here. I don't think I'm alone in saying that being able to ride Pokemon in Sun and Moon was a great new feature. Now obviously Sun and Moon weren't the first games to do this, that title goes to X and Y. But in X and Y, riding Pokemon didn't really do anything to enhance the gameplay. Sure, it was cool when we first saw this, but when you think about it, all it did was give us these long and empty routes to ride these super slow Pokemon. Gets boring after a while. Sun and Moon gave riding Pokemon a purpose and made it awesome because you can do it anywhere, and it eliminated the usage of HMs. But this begs the question, will Ride Pokemon return for the Diamond and Pearl remakes? Seems like the right thing to do since everyone hated HMs and riding Pokemon was well received. But if it does return, what kind of Pokemon will we be able to ride? They probably won't be the same ones you can ride in Alola, but instead be ones that are found in Sinnoh. So that's why I bring you the top 10 ride Pokemon for the Diamond and Pearl remakes. This list is the Pokemon that I would want to see us ride. But if there are any Pokemon you want to see that didn't make the list, let me know in the comments. Alright, if you're excited for this video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't. And with that out of the way, let's get started. Number 10. Gliscor Cut. You would probably get this ride option after defeating the second gym. Instead of getting the HM for Cut like you normally would, the remakes will change this by adding Gliscor to your ride pager. It makes total sense to have this Pokemon replace Cut. Just look at those claws. What's cool about Gliscor is the fact that he just won't be cutting down trees and bushes, but you can also ride him to move around a little faster. Maybe not as fast as a bike, but I imagine him being able to have a nice little glide that's close to the ground, and by pressing B it will be able to go a little faster while snapping its claws. That way, it can cut through those trees that block the way, and while at the same time helping you get to places faster. Maybe Gliscor can even have the ability to cut tall grass like the HM did back in Generation 3. I miss doing that. Scyther almost made this spot, but I felt like Gliscor was a better choice since it was a Pokemon introduced in Sinnoh. So Scyther sits in the honorable mention spot. Number 9. Mamoswine Plow. Now this spot is unique because it's a ride option that doesn't really replace any HM. It was actually inspired by the Mamoswine you ride on X and Y's Route 17. This ride option would be super slow, so nobody would really want to use it much. But you will need to use it, however, to go through the snow. That's right, instead of having you sink through snow every 2 seconds, how about if Route 216 and 217 were covered in a thick wall of snow like in X and Y? That way, you will need to use Mamoswine in order to progress in the story. This is similar to how in Sun and Moon you use Mudsdale to get through those spiky rocks. Hey, and let's not limit Mamoswine's usage to only these 2 routes. The wall of snow can also appear in Lake Acuity, the Acuity Lakefront, and even Mount Coronet. That way, Mamoswine has way more time to shine. But not too much, or it might melt. Maybe just enough where it's being used more than it was in X and Y. Number 8. Noctowl Gus. Probably the worst HM introduced was Defog. And what do you know, they originated in Diamond and Pearl. So instead of having that useless HM return, how about we make it cool by turning it into a new Poké Ride option? I introduce to you, Noctowl Gus. The way this would work is by flapping its wings, Noctowl will blow the fog away. Pretty simple. The way it's executed though is interesting. I didn't want this ride option to have a big Pokemon because then it might be confused for the flying replacement, so Noctowl fits. Since it's smaller than the trainer, it would grab you by the shoulders and carry you that way. You'll obviously be too heavy for normal flight, but it will allow you to sort of hover close to the ground, similar to how I explained Gliscor earlier. When you use this ride Pokemon in foggy areas, it would help clear the view the more you move around. But that's not all Noctowl can do. I decided to give it a secondary use instead of just having it blow fog away. What if this ride option also allows you to go over ledges you already jumped over? How cool would that be? Similar to how Skidoo and X and Y jumped over them, Noctowl can do the same for you by flying slightly higher. That way, if there's any areas you need to return to, you won't have to worry, cause Noctowl's got your back. Get it? Cause it's gonna be carrying you by the back? Honorable mentions include Honchkrow and Yanmega. Number 7. Mantine Surf. I think it was a huge missed opportunity to not have Mantine's native in Alola. I talk about this in a video I did with Pokedan, so you should check that out. In his video, I talk about how in real life, Hawaii has manta ray dives that allow you to chill with these guys underwater. So Sun and Moon could have done this with Mantine and Alola, and even have it as a possible ride option for dive. Too bad they didn't do it. But you know what region does have Mantine? Sinnoh! so Mantine can be the surfing and diving option for the Diamond and Pearl remakes. Now I know Lapras is pretty much the mascot of surfing, but you know, Mantine and its pre-evolution are also known for surfing as well. So it would be cool to ride these guys in the seas of Sinnoh. And don't forget, it would also have the ability to dive underwater. Diamond and Pearl didn't have any places to dive, but the remakes can add new locations that can only be accessed underwater. Maybe you have to visit some underwater ruins during the post-game, or even find an older legendary like Kyogre. You know, since remakes typically include legendaries from older games. An honorable mention would be Lumineon. Number 6. Bastiodon Shove. In Alola, we have Machamp to shove boulders, but in Sinnoh, we're gonna use Bastiodon. While Machamp can also be found in Sinnoh, I think Bastiodon would be a better fit. There's really only one major reason for this. Well, two actually. One, because you can ride it, not get carried by it, and two, that face. Just look at it, it's so big and flat. It's the perfect thing to push around those boulders. Since Shieldon fossils are found all over Sinnoh's underground, I'm sure the people in charge of the Pokeride were able to restore one, evolve it into a Bastiodon, and train it to be a ride Pokemon. I mean, if you have the power to restore these ancient creatures, might as well put them to good use, right? This will be yet another slow ride option, but it will be really satisfying to see that flat face push those flat boulders. Trust me. Just imagine it in your head. You'll know what I'm talking about. Number 5. Floatzel Jet. Alright, we already have Mantine for surfing and diving, but we're gonna need another Pokemon to ride those waterfalls. Enter Floatzel Jet. This Pokemon is perfect because it's basically made to help you cross the waters. A lot of his Pokédex entries emphasize the fact that it uses those flotation sacks to help people, sort of like a lifeguard. Now just like Sharpedo was a faster surfing option in Sun and Moon, Floatzel will be the faster surfing option in the Diamond and Pearl remakes. Of course, it will have some differences from Mantine so you don't totally forget about it. For example, Mantine can dive underwater, Floatzel will not. Instead of pressing B to dive, you'll be pressing B to increase your speed in order to climb those waterfalls. That'd be cool. And of course, since you're moving so fast, you won't be able to fish while riding on Floatzel, similar to Sharpedo. An honorable mention would be Golduck. Number 4. Staraptor Glide. Charizard, it's time to move out of the way and make room for Staraptor. I really can't think of a better Pokemon to fly across the Sinnoh region. Staraptor, in my opinion, is one of the best regional birds and is probably one of the most popular, so it makes perfect sense to use this Pokemon as the flying option this time around. It's just a really cool bird, and it's definitely one of the most memorable Pokemon introduced in Generation 4. Now, using this Pokeride could be similar to how it was in Sun and Moon, where you choose where you want to go and you'll be there in an instant, but it could also work like the soaring mechanic in Oras. Imagine riding atop a Staraptor as you're passing by Mount Coronet. That'd definitely be cool. If that doesn't happen, I wouldn't mind though. As long as I'm flying on Staraptor, I'd have no problem whatsoever. I don't even have an honorable mention because this is so perfect, but feel free to let me know what other flying options you'll have in mind. Number 3. Rampardos Charge. In Diamond and Pearl, you get Rock Smash pretty early, and you even have the ability to use it after the first gym. So what if in the remakes, we get Rampardos Charge after defeating the first gym? This would work great because Rourke is always mining for fossils and even has a Cranidos of his own. So it's possible that he was able to get another one, evolve it into a Rampardos, and train it to be a ride Pokemon. Rampardos is a great replacement for Tauros because of its head. Its head is perfect for smashing rocks. I mean, it is the Headbutt Pokemon after all. With moves like Headbutt, Zen Headbutt, and Head Smash, it can definitely be used to smash some rocks that are blocking your way. Oh yeah, honorable mentions. Rhyhorn, I guess. Number 2. Luxray Search. Okay, this is one I've been waiting for a while to talk about. Imagine riding on top of Luxray. Epic as heck, I know. And it makes a lot of sense too. Luxray is known for having X-ray vision. So instead of sniffing out items like Stoutland does in Sun and Moon, Luxray could use his X-ray vision to scope out hidden items. I imagine whenever you press B to look for something, the surrounding area gets dark, and Luxray's eyes glow red. If there's an item nearby, you will see a sparkling or glowing spot on the ground, indicating that Luxray sees something. This would be awesome if it were true. Forget about the dowsing machine app on the Pokédex, those days are over. It's time to hop on your majestic Luxray and find items the Alolan way. Please make this come true, Game Freak. Please. Number 1. Garchomp Climb. The HM for Rock Climb was honestly kinda dumb. I mean, it wasn't completely useless like Defog, but it just felt like an extra HM that was added to prevent you from reaching Mount Coronet. Diamond and Pearl Remix can make this interesting by having you ride on a Garchomp instead. Garchomp is one of the most well-known Sinnoh Pokemon, so if you were able to ride it, it will definitely make many fans happy, including me cause I love Garchomp. Its pre-evolution, Gibble, is known as the Land Shark Pokemon. This is represented really well in the anime because it's seen digging all over the place. This is how I believe Garchomp Climb will work. It will dig itself to the side of a mountain and climb its way to the top. This won't be limited to weird bumps on the side of cliffs, however. Any rocky mountain should be able to be climbed. This will allow you to reach places you've never been to in the original games, and would allow the remakes to have new and unique places to explore, like the top of Stark Mountain or even some new areas to explore on the side of Iron Island. Thank you for watching. It would be really cool if these things came true, but of course it's just fun speculation. Let me know what other kinds of Pokemon you like to ride in the Diamond and Pearl remakes in the comments. Alright, it's time for me to head out now. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't. Also, follow me on Twitter to find out what's up and what's new. By the way, I'm using Instagram, so you should definitely follow me there too. Last but not least, make sure you live your life to the fullest, and I'll see you all next time.